Instantly, Peterbot's locating the player. He sees him in the vault. And he's getting PC. He's jumping in. Oh my god. Oh my god. For the first kill? For the first kill, that's what he's going to do? That is insane. Everyone thought that without Pollo, Peterbot and Cold weren't going to be as good. Now that they're back playing with Ritual, it seems that nothing has changed. In the most recent Trio Cash Cup finals, they dropped a 24-kill win, finishing the tournament with 614 points. That's a world record. Even with the best pros in the lobby, they still dominate. And today, I'll be showing you exactly why. Let's waste no more time and get straight into it. All right, so we are jumping in here. This is the 24-kill win in the division finals that Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold just got. This trio just got back together. Of course, we know the power that they have as a trio, but we're about to see just how dominant they really are. This has never happened before, so to see this and be able to watch this is astonishing. As we know, they do land and play for the train. I don't think, yeah, it looks like Cold's kind of down there on the train. Oh, wait, actually, they're contested. Okay. Wait. This changes everything. So I did not know this. They're contested, and they're landing on the outskirts of the POI. Rather than just 50-50ing the spot, they're landing on the outside of it. So one's landing on the bunker, or on the, what am I saying? So one's landing on the black market. Peterbot is landing at this little house, and then Cold is landing near the train. And looks like Cold is already on the train, or is going to get it. So, I don't know how this team thinks they're going to end up winning this. But, I guess we'll see. Peterbot and Cold are about to get a mythic shotgun, and they're going to be going against a team that has mediocre loot, some green guns. So, yeah, this is about to be bad for them. So, of course, loot the train. Instantly goes for the pump. And I don't even know. Yeah, they don't even finish looting. This is definitely expected, right? They just grab the loot. Peterbot goes straight away. He's already got the shotgun. I'm sure Cold grabbed the rest of the chests, but now they're rolling up on him. I mean, this is just unfair. A mythic pump, 37 total builds going against a team that's sitting inside a POI. Already have high ground advantage, and you're Peterbot. What more could you ask for? This is insane. Instantly, Peterbot's locating the player. He sees him in the vault, and he's getting PC. He's jumping in. Oh my god. Oh my god. For the first kill? For the first kill, that's what he's going to do? That is insane. Okay. So that's a way to... That's a great way to start a fight right there. That is crazy. Okay. So now it's just chasing them down. And, I mean, I don't even know what this team's thinking. I know Walker's is definitely not a horrible player. But contesting Peterbot, it doesn't matter even if you're the second best player in the world. It's not a good idea. So this might have been the freest 2 or 3 kills of the entire tournament. So now, now they have the rest of Crime City to loot. They get their dill bit if they want it. And I don't even think they care. They're just chasing this guy. This guy's running for his life. Oh no, he's out. Okay. Alright, so now let's see. So half the POI is looted. They've gotten half their loot stolen. Of course, they already have great loot to begin with. And they have the bunker to go to get extra things. But let's just see. So this is obviously not ideal, right? For any team to have half their loot taken, it's not what you want. But for Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual, I don't think it matters. I think another interesting thing is here, you can just look at the map. Look at the control they have. Because of how scared teams are around them, they're not even trying to loot near them at all. I mean, this team, diminished visuals in them. They're pushing all the way down to the mountains. You've got Clix's team pushing away into aim red in them. I think they just got a knock on that guy. So look at the control they have. They have so much space, which I don't blame them. I mean, you do not want to be anywhere near them if you can. It's just not an advantage. You'll never have the advantage, rather. A mythic pump and 2 of the best fraggers in the game. It's impossible to compete against. I do want to see though. So this guy's a nutcase, dude. He's trying to come back in for the cards. I don't understand this. What is the game plan here if you're landing on them? Ritual's got a mythic. Peterbot's got the mythic, and then what? Cold's got a blue pump. Crazy. So this is just 2 of their 24 kills. Easy. This is something that I find that's very interesting. In these set lobbies, a lot of people think that you can't key, which is the case if you're anybody but Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. But, I mean, with these guys in the lobby, they can key whoever they want. And I think it is a really interesting thing to mention. Their map positioning and the loot that's around them. I mean, we all know that Crime City is one of the best, if not the best POIs on the map. But you can just take a look at a team like Seti, Kami, and Chari, who of course are great players. Obviously, they're on NA, so they're on higher ping right now. But they're landing at Canyon, so I'm stuck in the mountain. So yeah, they're landing Canyon, and you can see their loot is just not great. Like, and they're even playing very distant and kind of scared. Obviously, they have the high ground, but it doesn't really matter. So you can see the teams around them, they don't have a lot of loot. There's green pumps in these guys. These guys have, you know, a mythic because they got the car. 2 auto shotties, not great. And then you got Agers. Oh no, this is Skittles and Chimp. We got them with also green guns. So it's like everyone around them has mid-tier loot. And I think that's the biggest benefit to this trio and the positioning of where they land at Crime City is that everyone around them has mediocre loot. I think there's a big reason why they don't consistently push towards Clix's team, towards Magic Moss's, is because those teams are typically more stacked with at least purple or gold guns, especially if you get the vault. So I would not be surprised if they just absolutely fight everybody on this side of the map here. Again, we are now a couple zones into the game, and you can see even in front of them, there's nobody in their path. Nobody wants to be in line of Peterbot's team. Of course, you have teams coming by right outside in Xanda, but not a favorable play by these guys. And looks like, yeah, they're going to just kind of avoid them at all cost. Even Seti and Kami, they're rotating away and around. I mean, this is insane, right? The aura, I hate to say it, it's definitely like an overused word, but it is a real thing with Peterbot in the lobby. Okay, so it looks like they hear the visuals in Storm again. Yeah, this is what I expected, right? They're going to just try to fight as many people as they can on the side of this map. They have control over it all, and teams are rotating away from them, which means they have even more control. And I think this is a big reason why Peterbot wins so consistently. Not only does he have the best loot, not only is he the best player in the game. So alone, if he was landing anywhere else, it would be, you know, an easy win for him, I would say. But he also has an insane amount of map control, which allows him to do things like this, knowing that he can just go straight back to the vault and just, wow, just re-loot, re-heal. But, I mean, this is it right here, man. Gets what, 2 free kills here, or he loses 1 kill but picks up 1. And now, again, they're just looking to just clean up this last fight here however they can. It doesn't really matter. They're running it down. And they're chasing this team. I don't know if they'll actually end up getting them, because it looks like they're going to run pretty far away, but yeah, it looks like they're not going to be able to find them. We are now so deep in the storm trying to find this one team just to pick up 3 more kills. They're throwing down Med Mist. They're trying not to die to Storm, but they want these kills so bad they do not even care. And these teams, everyone knows them. I mean, just look at the control. Look at the space. I know it's Storm, right? Clearly, no one wants to sit in Storm, but just look at the rotate they have. Look at the amount of space that is on this side of the map. Basically, the entire bottom left side of the map is going to be completely avoiding them at all costs, or just not landing there if they can. Try to loot and run away, kind of like what Kami said he did. Just get away from them as fast as possible. I think another thing we're seeing here is that they have an obvious... I think another thing that we're seeing here is that they have a ton of understanding of this side of the map, right? Go figure. Best players in the world with the smartest player in the world. It's kind of the perfect matchup. But using the things like geysers, pads, and other things to rotate with, places they can get whites. Of course, they have shining shafts here, or shiny shafts, that has a ton of extra white heals inside of it. They can use this to just traverse the entire left side of the map with ease. They chase down kills, don't get them, or they do get them. Whatever the outcome is, they just geyser into a pad into zone. And of course, with this surge, with the loot that they have, the only choice they have here is to go deadside. And if anybody is in their way, I would not be afraid if they're going to try to fight them. I mean, you can see here, Peterbot is scouting for people in the storm. Not only is that a smart play to do just in general, but he's clearly looking for a chance to fight somebody or anything he can do to pick up some more kills. Because they are not scared of a single person. I will say, I think another thing that's very interesting is the fact that they are kind of just chilling out in Storm here when they could definitely be full sending the rotate all the way up and around. I think they're just wanting to see where the zone pulls. And here, this is a clear rotate to try to rotate all the way up north. and around Flooded Frogs area, or hop into these fights if they could. But definitely something you can do a lot in this chapter, or in this season particularly, is play Storm a ton. There's a lot of whites, there's amendments, there's bandages, of course, there's fishing even. And they're taking full access of it. They're going to abuse it and stay in Storm while everyone else fights for Surge and tries to play the game out normally. They've already got 5 kills and the best loot. They have nothing to rush for. Coming in here, he's definitely going to see these visuals of these teams fighting. Let's see what he does here. I would imagine at this point in the game, if they did take a Storm fight, it's just going to get them more setback than it would help them. I know that they want to get kills, but they've been in Storm for a minute now, and Storm Sickness is a thing, and not even Peterbot can run from that, so I would not be surprised if they are trying to just make their way in first and then hold these guys in on edge. Or absolutely ramping Yapko. Let's see it. Yeah, looks like he's maybe their next victim. And this is not going to be good for him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Peterbot on the back leg. Trying to survive. Okay. All right. They actually held their own. Yapko made it out alive. He had the hold from the teammates, Bolts and Rapid. We're able to just kind of play a defensive position, let him hold. I think this is something that even me as a competitor on the same region, I'm starting to realize that if you can see a medallion coming to you, or you know guaranteed that Peterbot is in your lobby, and you are on a position like this, they are not afraid to push any advantage position that you would think is an advantage. Being 5,000 layers above them on high ground does not matter. Having 8 people sitting above them on high ground, 5 layers above, does not matter. Like, they will take the fight to you. They will chop you out. They will win the fight. They do not care. So the best thing that you can do for these players in this lobby, like we just saw with Yapko, is even though he's in such an advantageous position, even though he has teammates that are ready to hold him, is to have already been running a minute before that. You could see the medallion rotating in Storm. They should have already been out. And I'm sure that if this team, when they watch these games back, they will say the same thing. It's just a grief to be anywhere near them. And truly unfortunate. And now they're still sitting inside Flooded Frogs. They still want to find these kills. I think there's, number one, insane value to understanding Flooded Frogs. They obviously know it from last season. They landed here a ton. They know every little spot for little heals, barrels, wherever they can find extra loot. So they're very comfortable fighting in here. This is just honestly such a great situation for them to be in. Having landed Crime City on any zone that pulls like this, they can key this left side of the map at Oasis, and then they can rotate all the way north into Flooded Frogs, which they have an expert level knowledge at. And typically, the team that's landing there has already gone. So any team that is there, which in this case is, I guess, what I'm saying is technically wrong, because the team that landed here is still in the POI. But in any other case, they're willing to take the fight because they know the special angles, they know where to get extra loot, they know how to take advantage of fights within Flooded Frogs because of their experience. And that alone is just going to be helping them so much more in these fights. I wouldn't be able to say the same if they, landed Demon's Dojo and then they landed Crime City, because it's such a far distance on the map that they're never really going to be able to capitalize on the knowledge that they had at Demon Dojo. But in this scenario, again, on any North Pole, they can just use Flooded Frogs as a second POI for them, right? They know it perfectly. And I think to add to that, they also know this entire side of the map perfectly as well, right? They know Magic Mosses because they landed Flooded Frogs and they keyed Magic Mosses a ton. So they know how to fight it at a high level. Which, for me personally, I can't say the same because I've only landed on the south side of the map. So it's things like that that really separate them apart. I think that, honestly, them having this knowledge on the north side of the map, I think is one of the more confusing parts of the map. You've got a lot of this, like, murky water, the swamp area. Then you get Flooded Frogs. And this whole area, and Magic Mosses as well, this whole area on the top left side of the map is very confusing if you're taking, like, a first glance at it. If you've never landed there, you're definitely going to feel a little bit lost because there's a lot of trees, there's a lot of bushes. But again, they have so much experience there that it just doesn't matter. They know how to run right through it. And I'm saying that because this is probably the only part of the map that I can think of where you would need an expert level of experience to be super confident about taking a fight here. I mean, you can look at it like, yes, they've never landed Kappa Kappa, bottom left of the map, or bottom right rather. They've never landed there, but this is such a simple part of the map to understand that they don't have to ever land there to really just visualize and see what's in front of them. It's just hills, trees, rocks, very simple terrain. So there's a major benefit for them to just key this entire top left side of the map if they really want. And of course, we're seeing them just run through it confidently. They know the rotates just like this. They've done this a million times. They understand the angles, the LOS that they need to take from teams that are holding them from in front. And yeah, they're able to capitalize on a great position here. I think we can see this. Just everything I've just said is a perfect example right here. They're coming out on the most dead side part of this side of the map, right? So of course, if you wanted to be ulti dead side, you know, the least amount of possibility of risk, you want to be where Clix's team is, right? Top of the map, away from everybody. There's obviously a team there, but that's still a great position to be in. They have a lot of control. But for a lot of teams, that's not the case. But Ritual, Peterbot, and Cold, they know this spot very well. So they're able to come out on still a hot side of zone, but on the most dead side of that hot side of zone. I know that's a little bit confusing, but it makes a ton of sense in competitive terms. At least I feel like it does. Because there's a lot of grouping spots on here. Pumped Power, I mean, you can see all these teams that are coming out from Brutal Boxcars. They're all going to come out right here where my cursor is, right? So this is where you don't want to be, but there is that little gap, which is where they are. And they can just basically funnel everyone below them, kill anybody that they want if they please, or get a free rotate to zone because of where they are. They're in the perfect position. Like, literally the perfect position. What I still think is very interesting, though, is even though they have 5 kills right now, they get another 19 more kills in this game, which is crazy. And I think this just goes to show that the way to key these set lobbies isn't to just run it down and fight whoever you fight. And they obviously know this. This is a skill that takes time to develop. This is something that you can't just like try one time and perfect it, right? They've obviously tried keying a ton of these lobbies, so they understand it. But yeah, they just wait to get all their kills in the end game. And obviously they pick up on the free ones around them, but I don't think it matters, man. This is an unstoppable force if this is the case. They could play the game out with 0 kills up until the end game and come out every single time with 10 to 15 kills in the end game, which is absolutely insane. Like, that is like winning level. Like, well, technically they are winning, but I'm saying, like, you know, me personally, I'll be ecstatic if I get a 10 kill win. I'll be super excited if I get a 15 kill win. Like, that is like a peak game for me. For pretty much everyone else in this lobby, that is the same way. For Chance, Scare, and Edgy, they get a 15 kill win, they're over the moon. But Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual, this is a typical game for them. They get 10 to 15 kills in every single end game without having to key at all. It's insane. Like, absolutely insane. So again, we can take note of this, and I want all you guys listening to take note as well. That, of course, every zone and the randomness of the games and yada, 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 all these scenarios can make it a little bit different, but just noting their rotate, right? So they kind of came in from the trenches on the top side of the hot side of zone, or the most dead side of the hot side of zone. They came through here, used LOS, rotated right by, continued to use more LOS on these teams, right? This team on the hill, edging them, kind of just ran right through, cut right through here, cut right below them, kind of bush hopped. So bush, scout, and then they're in. Obviously, they get fried here, but this is the rotate to make. And for anybody that's landing on this top left side of the map, take note of this. Like, this is the best rotate you can make here. Not even from me explaining it to you guys. Obviously, we just watched it. But from me processing it as a IGL myself, I think this is an absolutely beautiful rotate. And it wasn't overcomplicated. Of course, he did get fried there a bit. But it's perfect. Like, they have great positioning. They have a great next rotate, which you're going to see here in a second here. I doubt they lose anything if at all. Obviously just a couple builds and maybe some minis here. And now they're in. And this typically, I don't know about you guys, unless you're landing Demon's Dojo, this is one of the hardest zones in the game, is this top right zone, because it's so open with all these hills and valleys near you. I mean, just look at this, right? Look at the clump here. This is not seen on a lot of other zones. The amount of players that's on this side of zone is insane. And again, just like we saw earlier in this zone before, they are on the hot dead side of the zone. I don't know if there's a better term. Maybe you guys let me know what you would call this, but they're on the hot dead side of zone. They are like just outside the bubble of where everyone would be. And so they're able to just do the exact same thing they did at Magic Moss's. Just hold everybody, grief them if they want, fight for kills if they want, or have a free rotate. It's the best of both worlds, and you're putting the best players in that position. It's bound to be successful. So because they played so much Storm, we saw that they were, what, like 300 below? Or 300 above, rather. So they're going to need to definitely continue to tag if they want to save up Surge for the rest of this game. But, of course, with the guns that they have, it's not going to be an issue. And if they're below surge, they have shotguns. And that is an even better scenario for them. So, I don't think it matters. But they definitely still want to be above. They don't want to have to worry about surge if they can. But just look at this, right? Look at the positioning that they're in. Right? They're on the hot, dead side of zone. Don't know if there's a better term still. Try to think. But they're in a great spot here. And they have an easy early rotate. They just got to see kind of what these teams are doing in front of them, right? They're just kind of seeing what happens. Does aim red build up? Okay, if he does, then you can fall behind him. Does this edgy and scare team wrap around? Kind of seeing what they can do. I think most importantly, they want to make sure that no one comes in behind them, which because of the positioning, I'm not going to say it again because I don't have a right word for it. Because of where they are, there's really not that many options for teams to come behind him. Like this rotate for this power team is kind of insane. Like for them to wrap this way. I'm sure that a team will do it, or they might, but way later on. And of course, I want to try to turn this VOD review into something that you guys can learn as a team, as a player. But at the same time, to be honest with you, any rotate they make is going to be within the 80 to 90% correct tile, if that makes any sense. It's typically going to be on the more right side, right? It's going to be on like the more sure this is the rotate you definitely should have or could have made. Maybe not the best play at all times, but it doesn't matter. And this is why I'm saying this. It doesn't matter if they make a 30% positive rotate. It was a horrible rotate. Any other team that would have been there would have died. But again, it doesn't matter because they are just going to build every team off. And if you shoot them for long enough, they're going to key you. And if they use all their mats, it doesn't matter. They get another refresh in the end game. So this is just the reason why they're so hard to stop, because even on the worst zone pulls, they still get it through. They still tarp it out. And then you still have teams like this diving in that look like they're going to be 200 below surge. So it's like perfect timing for them. Of course, this is just an extra three free kills for them. An unfortunate team to jump in on. But to be honest with you, that last team that jumped in on them, I think they could have made plays beforehand to fix that, but I don't think it's a bad play. It's a little unfortunate that it's Peterbot with gold and mythic pumps. So all good. So they pick up 3 kills there just on a team box diving. And now they have this whole path here. They know this is the team that they were just holding. So they just rotate up left side here. And oh no, maybe this is a 50% rotate. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst, but doesn't matter. Even if it's the best team that's holding them, or one of the best teams in the lobby that's holding them in Muzz Rise, doesn't matter. They can still build them off. And if you shoot them too much, they will come key you. And they will take your loot and rack up the points. So they just push through any type of adversity in these games. It's absolutely insane. Again, still not even in the zone here, but just holding and griefing. And I think Muzz's team is definitely aware that this is Peterbot, and they definitely don't want to beef with them. I think this is a fine rotate to have, but they know. They know who's near them, and they know the outcome if they bully them a little too much. So now again, we're seeing kind of the same thing that we saw in every zone beforehand. They are in the hot, dead side of zone. Like, this is the clump of players, right? All down here. Right here is the clump. They are just on the top side of them. I think Muzz and Rise is also in a great position. They're pretty much in the exact same spot. But, yeah, they're just doing this every time. Peterbot is just putting himself, or Ritual is putting themselves in the best positioning possible. And with the best loot, best players, and the best positioning, there's literally nothing that any team in this lobby can do. Here we're seeing an instant early rotate, and we're going straight to fighting. Okay. We are straight up. Okay. I was going to say, it is a pretty good idea typically to instantly rotate, but I'm very surprised that they didn't. I mean, minus the fact that they probably wanted the fight, didn't just bully their way up here, fight the team on height and have height, win the game from that, or at least just push your way through here, and then you can kind of come in from zone from the top side. But looks like their mindset is, if you're in front of us, we will fight you and we will kill you, or we'll just make you run away. And I think that Rise's team, yeah, they're setting up for the fight to happen, but also I'm sure he's looking for any way to get out of this, because he does not want to be here if he can. Number 1, he's not in zone. Number 2, he knows Peterbot is on their back wall, and not what you want. From what I'm seeing here, it looks like, yeah, they're going to wait for zone to expand a bit more and then drop down, but I think they're also scouting the potential chance to maybe fight height here. Rotating right behind him is Ritual, blocking the back here. It's very interesting, though. Even though Peterbot, Pollo, and Cold, Peterbot was the IGL, Now that Ritual's on the team, I think Ritual is the clear tarper, or even maybe just a co-IGL, or even just a full IGL of the team. It's very interesting to see Peterbot leading a ton of these rotates and taking control, like we just saw there, him just jumping off and being the first to go, taking the spot for the team. The confidence that this guy has. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go back here for a second. I did not know that was about to happen. The confidence that Peterbot has as a fragger and as an IGL. Of course, these rotates aren't the most difficult in the world, but definitely very good to see. So somehow has the piece in these guys. Am I missing something? Oh wow, this is the same box that they used earlier when that team jumped on him. When the team jumped in their box for Surge, Edgy is now within that box. And there goes Edgy. And there goes almost his entire team. That is insane. Looks like Ritual's got both of them boxed up. And there they go. They are all dead. Within 5 seconds? So you're telling me Cold, or no, Chance, Edgy, and Scare played this entire game out. What are we? We are 23 minutes in the game. 23 minutes deep in this game. They played this entire thing out to die within 5 seconds. Just because of a misplay on a cone that they could have floored off. And they had the best team in the world fighting them. Like, taking advantage of every second possible. That is what Peterbot does. It's absolutely insane to watch. I mean, just rotating right through the middle. Doesn't care. Doesn't matter. I can't blame them, man. They are so dominant. And with this loot, it doesn't really matter where you go. You're going to get the refresh. If it's even a bad rotate, it'll be just fine. Someone's thermiting them? Someone's thermiting them in the end game. Okay, I guess. Anything you got to do to kill Peterbot. I think that's what I'm understanding. Ritual, just because of the position that Peterbot put them in, again, this isn't a favorable spot. No genius player is going to put anybody in this position. This is not where you want to be. And Ritual is just taking advantage of the open space here and rotating through. But ideally, yeah, you want to be where Rise is, or preferably where this guy is, on this side of the map where Bolts is a great position. I think Peterbot could have been there and could have still done the same exact thing that he did, which wasn't much. You know, shot a couple people, built a bit. Just from a better position. And I think it's those small things that, even though Peterbot is such a smart player overall, it's those small things that hold him back in the slightest way. But, again, like I just said, it's in the slightest way. And even if it griefs him down to 5 builds, he's just going to kill the next player that he sees in an instant. And that is why, as long as he lives, it's a fine rotate. Yeah. If you burned every mat and he lives, doesn't matter. Here we're seeing them pop the gold splash and kind of just smack behind the team. See if they can get into a fight here. This is something that I've seen them do a ton. They literally just pop a splash, pop a splash, and run it down. They don't care if Peterbot knocked on the wall here, didn't see anybody, but doesn't matter. He's going to go deeper and find what he needs to find. And this is scary. When a player can do this and be so confident that's going to work, it gets very, very dangerous. He literally went off from his entire team, went into someone else's old builds, into a team that was fighting in Storm, picked up a kill, and basically is going to kill Bolts here just to Storm. Ritual goes ahead, just straight through the middle again. Gets it tarped off. And now we're seeing Ritual start claiming more space if he can. Because this is when it can get very dangerous. If Ritual can make a wide tarp here, he can cut off a ton of this Lariat, which looks like he's doing this now. He can make a ton of space here for this team. Come straight through, right into their piece. For Peterbot and Cold, they pick up Seti here. Didn't even get to see it. To pick up as many kills as possible. If you can put them in this position every single time, this is going to be dangerous. Oh my, almost pieces up Cooper and Vidal's team. And he does. Picks up Cooper there. I do want to mention this, just for those that are curious on why Peterbot is getting so many kills. It's because he is playing outside of his own tarp, if that makes any sense. So we kind of just saw it here, and we can break it back down. It's very simple. It's not like a new age tech where he's doing something crazy. It's very, very simple. But of course, with his mechanics, he's able to bail out of any bad scenario or able to outbuild any bad scenario. So he's just taking the tarp that Ritual's giving him, seeing that there's some footsteps visuals down here, understanding that there's players back here that have to come up into him, and he's tarping into them rather than just kind of holding through and scouting through a cone here, looking for maybe Fishy Sue and these guys. And yes, that may give them kills. And I'm sure that they probably will pick up some of these. He's taking advantage of tarping out to players and piecing them from that from that position. So it could be anywhere, right? It could be right here, tarps out, double edits, or double edits up. Doesn't matter. You're seeing this a ton with Peterbot's trio. You're seeing this a ton with Ager's trio, Ager's Cold, and Pollo. They all do the same thing, and Clix's team as well. They all do the same thing. They build out of their own tarps for peace to grab those extra kills and the extra bit of builds, because as a back tarp fragger, you're going to have a lot of mats, and if you can get infinite refreshes, you're going to have infinite mats for your tarper, and you're going to have infinite mats for yourself. So it doesn't really matter. The burn is worth from what they gain. So just a side note of why Peterbot is getting so many of these kills. Of course, they are just insane, and they have a ton of control. That's a huge benefit, but if they didn't have this control, let's say it's a straight line tarp, they didn't have a lot of control, they could still do this by just tarping out and controlling the space. Now they're jumping in on Higgs. Okay. The confidence, man. Just running in these teams. Peterbot comes back here, fights this guy, gets a finish there. And I mean, I don't know what these guys were saying as a team, but I'm very confident it was something on the lines of like, this is Peterbot, let's get out. Like, no player is going to see their teammate get knocked and finished by Peterbot, and we're going to want to come around, even if Peterbot is on 2 HP and has the, least advantage possible. Doesn't matter, because of this loot that he has, because of the player that he is. It's just free. Cold picks up another kill, cleans up Zabi. I mean, they're just wiping trios that are they're fighting teams, forcing them to split off, and then they're cleaning them up after the fact. Like, it is absolutely insane to watch. Clix smacking on the back here. Now it's a top 4. Peterbot, Cold, Ritual as a full trio. We got one player down on low ground as a solo, Agers, and Muzz on high ground. Now it's a fight for height. And this is not where you want to be. It is a very interesting choice. I just don't think they care to make the right play because of how good they are. I mean, looks like Peterbot picks up a kill on Muzz. But typically the best plays you could make here would be just to drop down front and kind of spray up and take the 2v2. And, clean this guy up on low ground, then spray up. But because of how insanely good they are at the game, they are literally just whatever play they want to make in the moment, whatever opportunity they see, they take advantage of it. I mean, we just saw them go up to height on a fairly bad play, I would say, as an IGL. Not the most ideal situation to be in, because you potentially are giving the low ground team the easiest win. But they go up, they grief high ground, they come down low ground. Now they're fighting low ground. Ritual goes down. And they're just, I mean, you can just see that the odds are dwindling here for any other team. If we replaced Peterbot and Cold here for myself and my self-clone, it would not be a winning scenario. You just had a full trio alive versus another full trio alive on height versus, a duo and a solo on low ground. Clearly, you just want to drop down low, wipe out the duo, wipe out the solo, and then take your 3v3. But they do not care. They're going to come through and fight whoever they see. And I think for them, it's not even about winning this cash cup. It's about going for a point record. Peterbot goes up, suicides on height again. When again, they could have just killed the duo on low ground. They could have easily have done that. It's a solo on height, let him live, kill the guy on low ground. Right? Peterbot goes up, he dies. Now it's Cold. Looks like Clix ends up dying to Storm from Cold. So now he has double Siphon. Cold burns all of his mats versus Rise on low ground with also no builds. But let's be honest. It's Rise versus Cold here. And we all know how that ends. Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, 24 kill win in the Division Cup Finals. It does not get better than this. This team is absolutely unstoppable. All right. Bang.